haunted as long as I can remember. I never thought I'd be sharing my story here, but I can't keep this to myself any longer. It's been with me for as long as I can remember, and I've had enough. I hope that my experience can help someone out and it will make sense to someone. My name is Ethan, and I lived my life in a state of perpetual dread. It all began when I was just a child. I'd wake up in the middle of the night to the sound of whispers. Whispers that didn't come from any living being in my home. I'd lie there paralyzed in fear, unable to move or speak. As the sinister mumbles would grow louder, the words were always distinct, like the eerie echoes of a spirit trying to communicate from beyond the veil. As I grew older, the haunting evolved. Shadows crawled and would dance along my walls. The temperature in my room would plummet, and the unsettling sense of being watched would settle over me. My parents settled it down to being night terrors, but I knew it was something more. These occurrences were too consistent, too sinister to be mere nightmares. During my teenage years, I thought I could escape it by moving out, but that's when it became apparent that this entirely was external, bound to me. It followed me like a shadow, always lurking at the edge of my vision. Sometimes I'd see it directly, a shapeless, malevolent appearance in the corner of a room. And sometimes I'd hear the laughing and spine-chilling crackle that made my skin crawl. I've consulted countless of medics, psychics, and paranormal investigators, but none of them have been able to get rid of this malicious force, and they've all described it as an ancient and instable entity that feeds on fear and misery. Over the years, I've grown increasingly solitude, my life consumed by restless trauma that clings to my soul, relationship that have crumbled, and I've always become a shadow of my former self. I've tried every possible remedy, from exorcist to burning sage, but nothing works. It's this entity that's become an omitted part of my life. I've come to accept that it's likely I'll never be free of this curse, but I implore anyone reading this who may have insight or suggestions to share their wisdom. My life has been an unending nightmare, and I fear I may never find peace. If you experience something similar or have any advice, please help me. I'm desperate for answers, and I hope that by sharing my story, I can finally find the end to this restless, haunting thing that plunges me through my entire life. As I include my story, I find solace in the idea that perhaps there's someone out there who understands the depth of my torment. If you're reading this, please know that I'm still searching for answers, for any ray of hope that can free me from the clutches of this relentless, lifelong haunting. I don't know what to do as I'm writing this. I see it lurking in the corner of my eye, quickly disappearing when I look at it. And this is a comment. Hello, friend. I'm so sorry to hear about your troubles. I recommend purchasing the book Deliverance by Alko Arama, and then using every single one of those techniques until you find something that works for you. You will need to establish spiritual protection to keep this thing from coming back after you, to do intentional spiritual cleansing for a long period of time, but it definitely is possible. I have very high hopes for you. There's a long tradition in hoodoo to get rid of malevolent entities, no matter how old they are. It may take you 3 straight months of walking by dawn and doing a spiritual bath/wash every morning, but it sounds like it will be worth it for you. The technique can be found in Deliverance. In the meantime, I recommend bringing a couple of gallons of water to your cleansing or whatever that is and ask them to bless it. Then drink holy water all the time. I would do this regularly. If you change the flavor of your energy, eventually the thing will not want to eat you. I also recommend starting a strong yoga practice. Funny enough, oftentimes yoginists can channel the energy of living spiritual entities into positive purposes that just may help. Good luck! This is another comment. I'm so sorry to hear about your terrifying experiences. It must be incredibly difficult to live with such a relentless, haunting thing with you. I hope you find the answers and your peace that you're looking for. And this is another one. Take your antibiotics.